Hello and welcome to my podcast. I'm your host Tasreen, and today I'm very excited to welcome a very amazing guest, Dr. Jorge Guerrero. Born in Colombia, Dr. Jorge is an electronics engineer with a PhD from North Carolina A&T State University, where he worked in the exciting world of DNA nanotechnology. Beyond his impressive professional career, he is also the author of the science fiction novel Synapses, The Chaos of Order, which he first published in Spanish, then later in English. He has also developed a software called BeamerQT, which simplifies LaTeX presentation. I am very excited. So, a warm welcome to you, Dr. George. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for coming. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. So I will first would love to know about your background, your life in Colombia, and your transition during your master's as well as PhD. So tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so that was a very nice times. I was in Colombia. I did my master's in 2012. I finished my master's. And I really wanted to, by those days, start my venture to do PhD. I came here to the United States in 2014, trying to look for PhDs by those days, but sometimes you don't get the finances for that. So I was back in Colombia working as professor uh, during a couple of years until I got the invitation from the Joint School of Nanoscience and Nanoengineering. I decided to, okay, let's start here. And I arrived to the United States in 2019. Here in the United States, I met amazing people from Greensboro. Um, yeah, I look for very different backgrounds of where to go my career. I ended doing DNA nanotechnology. There were a lot of other fields, but okay, I was thinking there was a good one in which I was able to apply not only the electronics, but also my software development uh, in creating DNA models to allow to store data into DNA. That was really good work because at the end, we were able to demonstrate using the DNA could be really similar to how to use an USB. But of course, taking into account the costs and the times. Another difficulty that could happen with biochemistry, but from the computer and the digital point of view, it's the same. Okay, after the PhD, I went to Montana to do a postdoc, and I was working in materials with the biochemistry and the physics groups on there. So I was doing simulations of nano sheets. You can see that to calculate the electronic properties of them. I was also using machine learning techniques to predict deformations, and with those deformations, take another advantages from these materials. Okay, mostly that is what I have done. Yeah, so I'm here.
Okay. I wanted to talk about your book as well because I have gone through the briefing and it was quite fascinating. So, how you got the idea? You said that you started it back in I think 2015, right? So, how you
Yes.
got the idea? Because it's really interesting. I would love to read the whole book. I look forward to that.
Yeah, you can see. So this is the book Synapses, the Chaos of Order. This is
Yes.
very interesting story. I started with this story in 2015, as you mentioned it, but I was coming from very far in the past, in my life. I was coming stories, fantasies, like a childhood fantasies, but as I was growing academically and growing professionally, I was kind of having this more context adding to my story. Like, okay, I was having so much fantasy, then no, more settled down, more scientifically accurate stories, inventions, how was the process of the invention, uh, or how was the suffering, because it was also, the character was in the university. So all the frustrations, all these things, all the fears, and also was having a lot of, how can you say, the psychological, the thought process, politics, also religion is involved in that story. And yeah, I'm not doing too much spoilers until we can talk more about the same sci-fi of that.
Yes, because as a kid while growing up, the science fiction genre was one of my favorite. In fact, I wrote a few stories as well, but it never got published. I didn't do that. I was thinking, okay, after my 10th, maybe I will write a book, but it never happened so far. So, like, would you give a small briefing so that our audience will be excited to read this book?
Yeah,
Like, what
little
this
bit
book
of
is about?
All right, okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
the book has two main components. It has one part of the story is told in a little bit far future, in which the people have been trying to see what happened in the world. So in this far future, people, all people share the same culture, they share the same language. In somehow there are no technology all over. And they were trying to figure out what is happening, why we have not this kind of technology. They were trying to look into the archaeological registers. They were having, okay, we can follow what happens in the world from all ancient Egypt to Rome Empire, whatever. We can follow all these things until certain point in the story in which everything breaks and we say, okay, this is the big change that what happened 300 years ago, and we call it the transition. And they were just clueless until in somehow they found the diary of an engineer who lived in the transition. And they started reading the book. They were thinking, okay, this is fantasy, this is real, but in this book, there were kind of the notes of this guy. The guy is named Joseph Gomez. Joseph Gomez, he did some experiments with neuroquantum transmission. The purpose of this is trying to achieve quantum teleportation of data, but in order to make the readings in somehow continuous, he added neurons, living neurons to the quantum dots, to the entangled quantum dots. So with these quantum dots entangled alongside with the neurons, so you can transmit data without collapsing the quantum state. So this process ended in which he wanted to have an implant in his brain and start communicating with machines. So the book starts exploring how it's going to be communicating with machines, how to train your brain to understand, for instance, binary data, ASCII code, to send words, to read words. And we started having the questions. We're having this kind of information coming out to our mind from outside. Are these thoughts that I'm having right now, are my thoughts, or these thoughts are coming from outside? So those are actually belongs to me or not? So most of the story comes with that way and start developing a lot of things of conspiracies that tries to find out catching of this technology and what you can also do beyond this. So this is the starting point of the part, and there are a lot of things after that. And as you say, the ending part of the story is connected to all of this. So it's very amazing.
Yeah, you mentioned that you have planned to write sequels as well. So I hope,
Exactly.
yes.
Exactly. As I have mentioned, the starting point in which we are talking about 300 years in the future, that is actually the timeline in the third book. So I had to figure out how was the third book, how was ending of the story there. Oh, okay, I can start with the first scene showing the future, showing what happened, and these people that were confused, what happened at that point, and going back and start developing all this story. The first book is mostly, you can say, like a theoretical framework. All this story, you can start doing the experiments, all the theoretical analysis, all the trying to figure out how to make these machines work and understanding what happens. And in somehow is showing also things that the main character does not know, but are happening. We are showing hints. Probably the reader will not see that at first, but sometimes, okay, when you see this connected in some other parts of the story, oh, okay, there was already something happening with this experiment that the main character was not aware. Once this already happens in the first book, the second book, you can say all the science fiction is already established. All the science fiction was established, all the theories were connected, and then we can just run in the fantasy realm, exploiting all this science fiction to the extreme, but be trying to be coherent with what has been established. And the last part is a conclusion, of course, in which we're, okay, what happens when all these things, what are re-exploded, coming back together? But yeah, it's I can say I got inspiration for other science fiction stories, of course, but something that is very interesting, the sequels were inspired after one dream I had.
Okay.
One crazy dream. I really love this dream. It was a dream with my doggy. And I wanted so badly to include this part in the story. But as I wanted to have a very coherent story, the dream was crazy, didn't make any sense until when I found a way to make this sense, I figured out the second part that is incredible, but it's not really published. But the second part is way better than the first. The first one was me with my natural inspiration, all the word inspiration, whatever, all the stories inspiration. But yeah, very established, very square. But the second part is crazy, is amazing. It will make you think and question about reality.
Right. So it's quite futuristic, the topic. So also, how did you manage your project about this writing with a demanding professional career? So you were writing during your PhD or once you completed?
No, I was, as you know, I started writing in 2015 when I started coming up with the story. By the end of 2015, I came out with the three stories, the three books. And in 2016, I started writing the first book seriously. So 2016, 17, and 18, I was doing that by my own. I looked for help. I was ready to publish in 2019, but I really needed more help. But by those days, I started PhD, and it was completely stopped. Once I finished the PhD, I started working back in the book. I said, okay, let's publish it. It's okay. It is not through an editorial. I just do self-publishing. Getting an editorial sometimes when you are unknown in the literature world is difficult. I have found that if I don't have any other publications, it's difficult to get to somebody who can help you. But okay, this is a novel. It's a big novel, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be well welcomed by my colleagues or scientific community. People who have been in this environment, they love that. They feel connected because they have lived something of that. People who have not been connected to this, they will find a little bit hard reading the first part of the book until the science fiction is established. That's the difficult part for many readers. But once it is established, they will enjoy the story.
Right. Okay, now let's talk about your software as well as BeamerQT. So how you got the idea and what are you expecting that people will benefit from it? What is your expectation?
So, BeamerQT is a very old idea I was having also in my mind. Let me say you, as we are researchers, we have been working in the scientific community. We want to publish. Many of us were trying to publish things and writing the articles, the papers in LaTeX. right? And some other people also have been doing the publications done in LaTeX, and it is called Beamer LaTeX. The problem with this is you have to write code for all these things, and it's time consuming. Sometimes you don't see how your slides are going on, whatever. Uh, when I was doing my master's, I was using the software called LYX, LYX, for writing the documents in LaTeX. And I think it's amazing. It's a pretty nice software, and it does everything amazing and good for documents. But when it was coming to presentations, okay, it works, but it was not that comfortable because you don't have the PowerPoint-like interface. So I always was coming, okay, I would like to have this kind of PowerPoint interface for LYX. And okay, 1 year ago, while I was in Montana, I was having some little bit more free time during the postdoc. Okay, let me try to do it. And I start writing it, and it was working. And I think, okay, it's better than expected. It's not just a simple software. It looks like a PowerPoint-like with limitations, and the restrictions are actually part of the LaTeX philosophy. So when people is seeing that, not everybody will like to use that. That's for more of our community too, to get the point. If I show this to somebody who is very used to work in PowerPoint or in Canva, yeah, then we go and continue using Canva or PowerPoint. But other people really wanted to do presentations using LaTeX. And this is a very most wanted feature, a very most wanted application to do that. So right now, I added the tool to create templates for the different universities. So, for instance, I recently created one for the Joint School of Nanoscience and Engineering. It looks nice. It looks amazing. And at that point, is showing up to these people. Whoever wants to use it, they can use it. If somebody is enthusiastic with LaTeX and they know how to do the tools, they can also take advantage of my software, because it's going to just simplify the process of creating slides. They can add LaTeX code inside. So it's a win-win.
Right. So where people can get your software? Is it an open source or do you need to subscribe?
It's open source. It's under active development. So there are many things that I will add in time, but right now it's completely usable. It's available in GitHub. So you just have to search BeamerQT, and it will show up. It's going to be available in GitHub and in SourceForge. You can get the Windows binary files, so you can get installers for Windows. So it's available. It's accessible. People recently started writing me. They were having, okay, some people wanted to create the compatibility with macOS. I didn't know because I didn't have macOS, and this person did the compatibility. So, okay, I started having some collaborations.
Okay, that's great. Okay, also, I would like to ask you one question since you're into this science fiction novel and all this stuff. So, suppose given a chance to have a meal with any scientist, alive or dead, whom would you pick up and why?
Can you repeat the question?
If you were given a chance to meet any scientist, live or dead, whom would you like to meet?
Oh, a scientist.
Right.
I really would like to have a big talk with Carl Sagan.
Mhm.
Carl Sagan.
Culture.
Carl Sagan. He was amazing in the way of divulging science. I love his philosophy, not only because it's scientific. And I don't want to go, for instance, if you say, I would like to talk with Newton. Probably I will stay 10 minutes and will hate him.
Maybe
Right?
that.
So yeah, I really would like to meet Newton. That would be a one dream. I would like to meet Leonardo da Vinci. It would be a big dream. But who I will have a conversation, a very nice conversation, I think it would be Carl Sagan.
Right, amazing. So, you have successfully combined your professional knowledge with this book and also software. So, what lesson did you learn over the years in this career path? And what advice would you share with people who have multiple passion, but they don't find time or because of the primary career, right?
Yeah, that's true. We always have to find some time for doing whatever we like,
Right.
and try to make show ourselves our value, and be proud whenever you can share it. Sharing and self development is a very nice way to be happy with your own and happy with the others. Um, yeah, I am pretty excited. I had not been uh, extremely successful with the sales, but I am happy on seeing people who has read a book and say, "Yay, I like what you did. Hey, this was a very nice idea." Right? And some people also started questioning. So when you see people having some good response, not only in the stories, but also in the life, um, it's something that I really will enjoy. And sometimes you don't know who are you influencing. During my wedding, that happened 1 month ago, uh, one friend of mine came from Colombia. And he was doing a lot of things. And then he said, "Oh, I am so grateful with you. You changed my life." And I was completely clueless. It was something very subtle that I did in his life when I quit one of the jobs and I offered that to him. And that changed his life. But I did nothing, but I was there. I say, "Oh my God,
Right.
yeah, that's incredible how you don't know you're changing lives." And he was so grateful that he did a lot of things for me. He traveled from Colombia to the United States just for my wedding. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Okay. So that's all the time we have for today. Anything else that you want to add to this conversation, please?
All right, yes. So thank you everybody for joining us to this podcast. I am seeing you in the future. And again, I am inviting you all look for this book, Synapses, the Cause of Order. That is amazing. And is it?
Yeah, if there is any software that you're working on right now, you can.
No, no. Right now, I'm not working on any other software. The software I was working is BeamerQT. Little by little, I'm going to improve it, making it better. Probably in the future we'll start another, but right now it's that. Um, yeah. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you on my platform, and I'll definitely link your software and also the book because it is available online, right? So I'll add
Yes.
all those links, and I look forward to read it, and also I encourage you to complete the sequels. I wish you that someday it may come as a Hollywood production because I really like the idea of your book. We can wish for, right? And thank you once again. Thank you so much to our
Thank you.
listener. See you next time. Until then, stay
Yes.
curious. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
You can